bombing right
We have been this entire time.
now? Two words. Start. What was the question?
Wait,
What was the most memorable part of China? Why can I not talk?
What was the most memorable part of China for you guys?